Here I'm playing back the animation work that I've done so far. You can see the HUD is really coming together now. This is looping a couple of times to show the animation. I'm only showing you a section of the animation here. Just want to show you the overall feeling of the HUD and the example of what I really want it to do. You can get a real feel for where it's heading, the direction it's heading in. You can see what I was saying earlier about smaller animations combining to give a more complex whole. So I feel it's coming together nicely. I'm soloing the layers that build up the entire HUD here. Starting first with the main outline, which is comprised of a compass and the other indicators such as distance and speed. Moving over to the right side, the right side boxes that I built and animated to shuffle in from the right hand side. Here I'm turning on the main triangle tracking indicators for the robots. And finally I bring up the reticle and scrub through that one as well. I'm also turning on the smaller target rectangles. Scrubbing through the animation is something you'll find yourself doing a lot, back and forth. This really gives you an overall feeling of the animation and whether it's working and the direction it's heading in. Obviously for a more definitive preview you're going to have to RAM preview a section, but I find that scrubbing the playback head really works fast and saves you from stopping every few minutes to render. So as you can see, I have multiple versions of the HUD. I'm switching to a secondary master comp which also has the trackers which I've built for when the team of robots is off screen. It's like positional trackers. I'm RAM previewing this so I can show you how those locators interact and function. It's looking pretty cool. Here is a rendered version of the current HUD on top of the current edit to scrub through and play as well. I'm showing the reticle itself here. It's only built up of the 5 simple shape layers we looked at earlier in the tutorial that I created in Illustrator. I've not changed a thing. Each are separate elements and named accordingly. As you can see, there are no keyframes in this comp, only expressions that link back to an outside comp which controls the reticle independently. Check out the right side boxes now. This comp actually has a lot of layers in keyframes, but it is basically one single box with the numbers in it that I've duplicated numerous times and offset the animation so that they fly in and animate at different times. This was all hand keyframed and then offsetted. No expressions in this one. Here are the triangle trackers for the main robots. These will constantly track to the robots throughout the whole sequence. And then when the robots go off screen, these smaller trackers appear on the edge of frame. I wanted to think of a cool way of keeping the indicators on screen so that the robots always know positionally where their comrades are on the battlefield. I'm actually using the exact same tracker, only turned on its side and scaled down a large amount. Pretty sneaky, you know, but hey, it was already built and it does the trick. Why reinvent the wheel? All these timings that you're seeing are timed to the original footage that I showed you earlier. Aaron, my client for this job, Aaron Sims, has given me an updated cut with the cool robots starting to show themselves, which is really exciting to see. However, this new edit has new timings. This will affect the timing of my HUD so far, so this will need to be addressed as I proceed. Just bringing in the new edit that Aaron just sent me. I'm going to prep it for some new animation. I'm going to watch it full screen a few times over just to see where the animation has changed. I know this one's going to look very fast compared to the one I showed you earlier, and that's just because I've time-lapsed this QuickTime for the purposes of the tutorial. But you'll see the new robots in there, and I think they're looking really cool. Very excited about this. I'm actually noticing that this cut is actually a different resolution from the last cut. So there's usually a number of reasons for this. I'd always contact the client and let them know that this has happened, and sometimes it's just a simple error in the delivery. But here I'm going to make a new master comp and drop it in to check the length and see how much the timing has changed from the original edit. I'm then going to set up some markers so that I don't get confused on where this edit actually starts and where this one lines up with my old edit. I'm then going to scale it up to match the comp size that I'm working with at the moment, and I'm going to put a black solid behind this edit and just adjust the opacity of the footage so it isn't as bright. I'm going to solo everything in my comp so I can start the animation elements from the bottom up. I'm then saving the project and just closing the capture. So this intro video here for the After Effects portion of this tutorial is really showing you the basic setup of what I've already animated. Now we're going to have to change the animation for the new edit, so let's begin that one.